Hello friends, in this session we shall consider one of the worked example on Adams-Bashforth method. In the previous session we have derived the corrector formula for solving the initial value problem of the first order using the Adams-Bashforth method. You have seen that Adams-Bashforth method is a multi-step predictor corrector method, and it is based on the Newton's backward interpolation formula. That is, in the derivation of the formulae, both the predictor formula and corrector formula, we have used the Newton's backward interpolation formula, and using that Newton's backward interpolation formula we get the two important formulae. They are the predictor formula and the corrector formula. So before going to look at the problems, I would like to request you people to see the two formulae which are visible over here. These are called as the predictor formula and the corrector formula respectively. This is the predictor formula here. It predicts the value of the unknown at the point x1, and this is a formula which goes on correcting the value of the unknowns. And you must understand here that in order to start the solution through the Adams-Bashforth method, that is the predictor corrector method, we require more than one starting value of the unknown. Usually we will be given with one value of the unknown, that we call it as the initial condition. In addition to that, we require a few more values. That is, since this Adams-Bashforth method is a four-step method, therefore it requires four values. So we have one value from the initial condition. We require three more starting values, and those starting values can be obtained from any one of the known techniques, either Euler's method or Runge-Kutta method, or even Taylor's or Picard's method. So those single step methods can be used to evaluate the values which are called as starting values for the so-called Adams-Bashforth method to start. So in the Adams-Bashforth method, as I have told you, the first formula is known as the predictor formula. It gives us the initial approximation for the desired value of y at the point x1. So y1 is the thing, but y at the point x1. So x1 is the point at which the solution is intended to be found, and that value is to be obtained not in a single step, but in a repeated number of iterations we have to perform, and thereby we can get the final value of y1. So at the beginning we should have some initial value. That initial value is given by this predictor formula. In the predictor formula we have used the value which is previous to y1 is y0, y minus 1, y minus 2, and the leftmost value is y minus 3. So all these values are substituted in the definition of f, and we got f0, f minus 1, f minus 2, f minus 3, like that. And this formula, when we use and get the value, first initial approximation of y1, that is denoted by y1p, we can move on to use this so-called very important formula, that is the corrector formula. In the corrector formula we go on improving the value. We improve the value which is obtained from this predictor formula. So first what will we do? You can observe the difference between these two formulae. In the predictor formula it was having 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, but here it is having only that is 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 is not there, but one extra value which is coming into picture is f1. This is very important, we have to note down. So this f1 is the new thing which is here. F1 is f at x1 comma y1. Y1 is the unknown, but even then we are using y1 here, which is being obtained from this predictor formula. So predicted value we will substitute here to get f1, and we simplify this particular expression, get the first corrected value of y1. Once we get the first corrected value of y1, we can further substitute the so obtained value in this place. and again we can go for the second improved value of y1, and so on we can proceed to get the successive improvements of y1. Therefore this formula is an iterative type of formula, and this iteration will come to an end when two values of y1c, that is the two corrected consecutively corrected values of y1 are same up to the desired number of decimal places. Then we can stop the process of iteration and we can consider the final value as the required solution. So I hope you understood the formulae and that analysis of the formula, how we have to apply them and what are the things involved behind them. So with that motivation, let us move on to solve the worked example. So this is the question given over here. The first question is to solve the initial value problem. Definitely it will be the differential equation with an initial condition. A couple of more values are given over here. You can observe that is the values of y. How many values of y have been given? Just now I told you that this is going to be the initial condition. Okay, you please just think over it. Which can be the initial value, which can be taken as the initial value, that is more important here. Now we can observe here that this differential equation is to be solved at the point y at 1.4. So previous to 1.4 we are having 1.3, and previous to that we are having 1.2, and previous to 1.2 we are having 1.1, and at the leftmost we are having 1, that is. So these are the values which are visible to us. So how the values are visible? We want to calculate at 1.4. This is 1.4 at which we want to solve the given initial value problem. Previously we are having 1.3 here, and now 1.4 is here, sorry 1.2 previous to that, 1.1 the previous value of that, and ultimately here it is 1.0, that is 1. So these four values, starting values, have been given over here, and using these four values as the starting values, we can very easily use the Adams-Bashforth method and find the value of y at 1.4. That is one issue, one way of interpreting this problem. But as far as this problem is concerned, which can be taken as the initial condition. So if we don't know this, for example, if we don't know this value, if we don't know this value, if we don't know this value, so we will be given with we will be asked to find the value of y at 1.4 for y at 1 equal to 1. This will be the initial condition. So we can use any one of the single step method to find the value of y at the next point, that is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So these three values, this is one already in hand with the given initial value problem. So differential equation with the initial condition, that is the IVP. So these three additional values, they may be given or may not be given. However, we are lucky enough here, these values have been given. However, in some cases they may not be given. That is the thing. So if they are not given, we have to use any one of the known methods of single step, like Euler's method, Runge-Kutta method, Picard's method, and even Taylor series method, to estimate the value of y at these points, and then we can move to find the value of y at this particular point. So this we have to understand at the beginning. Now let us move. So here the first job is to consider whatever RHS is there, that RHS we have to take it as f of x comma y. So f of x comma y is the given RHS, that is x square plus y square, that is this is x square plus y square, the RHS we have taken. And to compute y at 1.4, to compute y at 1.4, let us gather the information. To compute y at 1.4, you look at the formulae, they are for y1. So we are now considering that point as x1. To compute y at 1.4, let us take this point as x1, because y at 1.4 is nothing but this should be y1, this value, whatever is this we are intended to find, that should be taken as y1, because it is so in the formula of Adams-Bashforth. So when we take this as y1, this point must be taken as x1, that is. So 1.4 is the value of x1. So it implies that when we take this thing, it implies that x naught previous to this 1.4, if it is 1.4 if it is x1, previous to 1.4 there is 1.3, previous to that 1.2 is there, 1.1 is there, 1.0 is there. So they have to be taken as x0, x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3, like that. So that's what I have shown over here, you can observe. So 1.4 being x1, I should write here for your reference. My assumption is that x4 is the point 1.4 which is of my interest, at which I want to solve the differential equation. So when it is x4, sorry, it is not x4, it is x1, sorry for that, it is x1, that is. It is, we have taken it as x1 is 1.4. when it is 1.4, now it previous to this x naught should be there, previous to that x minus 1 should be there, x minus 2 should be there, x minus 3 should be there, and the values are previous to 1.4, 1.3 is there, 1.2 is there, 1.1 is there, 1 is there. So correspondingly what values have been given, we have that list also. The value of y at 1.3, that is actually y naught, because it is corresponding to x naught. This is given as 1.979. Similarly, y minus 1 is 1.548. It is given y minus 2 is 1.233. Y minus 3 is 1. So we have this value, list of this value. We come to know that h, what is the value of h here? Very simple. The difference between two consecutive values, 1.1 minus 1 or 1.2 minus 1.1, whatever you take, answer turns out to be 0.1. So the value of h is 0.1. I hope all of you agree with that. So with that value of h and with these values of y's, what can we do? We can move on to use the formula. In the formula, we have to have the values of y, f0, f minus 1, f minus 2, f minus 3. So what actually f0 stands for? F0 stands for f at x0 comma y0. So what actually the definition is? X square into bracket 1 plus y0. So this is 1 plus y. Actually the definition is like this: x square into the bracket 1 plus y square. Sorry, 1 plus y. This is the definition of what? It is the definition of f of x comma y. So it is this much. First member square plus into the bracket 1 plus second member, that is. So that definition we are using over here. Wherever in place of x we are writing x0, and in place of y we are writing y0. That's all. So we are substituting the values, x0 value and this is y0 value. On simplification, we get 5.035 as the answer, and this answer is the answer for f0. So that is in our hand now. Now similarly we can compute what is f minus 1. So f minus 1 is nothing but f at x minus 1 and y minus 1. So the definition of f is this much. Substitute the values and get this as the answer for f minus 1. Similarly we can get f minus 2 as 2.0702, f minus 3 as 2, that is. So we got all the values, f0, f minus 1, f minus 2, f minus 3, and even we have the value of h as 0.1. So now it is the time to use the predictor formula. So first let us use the predictor formula. So what actually the predictor formula is? The predictor formula is visible here. All of you can observe. In the predictor formula, we are finding the value of y at x1. Y at x1 is nothing but y at that is just now I told you it is 1.4, that is. This is the value which we are finding. We have y at 1.4, that is of our interest, and this we have taken it as x1, therefore we are saying that it is y1. So y1 value in the first formula, that is the predictor formula, it should be taken as y1p. So y1p stands for the predicted value of y1. So the predicted value of y1 is given by the formula which is having y0 in the first place on the right hand side. So that is y0 plus some increment to that. So this is all the increment portion. So that increment is something like this. What is that? H by 24, h is 0.1, that we have substituted here, and then minus 9 f minus 3 plus 37 f minus 2 minus 59 f minus 1 55 f0. So these are the values in the bracket. So let us substitute the values. Y0 value from the given initial condition, it is 1.979. H is 0.1, just now I told you from here, and it is divided by 24 is constant. It is everywhere there in the formula. Now 9 as it is, with sorry, minus 9 as it is. The value of f minus 3 just now we have listed out. In that we got it as 2 for f minus 3. 37 as it is, f minus 2 is 2.702. Minus 59 as it is, f minus 1 is 3.669. 55 as it is, and the value of f naught being 5.035. So we have to substitute the values correctly. Once we substitute the values in a proper way, now it is very simple. We have to use our calculator and we have to simplify this, and the final answer will be obtained as 2.573. So this is the first it is the predicted value of y1. So the predicted value of y1 is to be used to go for the next step, that is the correction step. That is the iteration process. We have to use here the iteration formula. That is the correction formula. Iteration formula is the correction formula, the corrector formula. What actually the corrector formula is? In the corrector formula, if you observe, we are having f1. So f1 here stands for what? F1 is f at x1 comma y1. So which value of y1 is to be used? The value of y1 which is known to us, that must be used. Which is the known value of y1? The known value of y1 is this thing, that should be used here. That's all. So f1 is to be calculated by using this particular y1. So y1p, that is the most important thing we have to remember. So that is according to the definition. We have the definition of f, that is f, and wherever x is there we are replacing it by x1, and y is there we are replacing it by y1p. That is the predicted value to substitute it over here. Now after substitution and simplification, we get the result 7.003. That is the value of f1. So this value can be substituted in the corrector formula. So the corrector formula is visible to you. This is the corrector formula. In the corrector formula, for the first three terms are very much similar. That is no difficulty in these three values, because these are available from the list which we have already in our hand. We can use that list and we can substitute the values from that list. But this value is most important, and just now I told you how to evaluate that. We have to evaluate this by using the predictor value, predictor formula, and we can now substitute it over here. All other things are same. Y naught value is 1.979, h is 0.1 divided by 24 as it is, f minus 2 is 2.702, 5 as it is with minus sign, f minus 1 is 3.669, plus 19 as it is, f naught value is 5.035, plus 9 as it is. Now the thing comes, that is f1. f1 is the value which is being substituted from the previous calculation, that is the calculation which was using the predicted value of y, that is y1p. So that is the new thing, and if we substitute that over here and simplify this entire right hand side, we come to know that the value of y1c is 2.575. 2.575 is the answer for y1c. So this is the corrected value. This is the first correction. This is not the final one. It is still the first order correction. Only the first correction we have done. First correction to the earlier approximated value, that is a predicted value of y1. So now we have the provision of going for the next improvement of the value of y1. So how the same thing again, we have to use the same formula, nothing else. All the first three values in the bracket will be taken from the list itself. The only thing is that this is to be modified. This is to be modified. f1 when we were calculating in this particular step, that is in the first iteration, we used a y1p, that is being taken from the previous step, that is the predictor step. We have used y1p here in this and got this value for that. Now what we are having, we don't have to use y1p now. That is now become the old value. This we don't use it at all. We have the new value for y1, that is here 2.575, that is the first corrected value. So we can substitute that here in the place of y1 in f1 and get the new value for f1. So that will be the new thing. This is going to become new, and all other things will be same. Therefore, we can change this expression simply by clicking at this place. Even you can set your calculator like that, only this value can be changed. So you change that value and press the enter button, you will get the next answer. So that's what I show you. The same formula we are having here. That's what F1 we have first we have told that Y1 is 2.575 corresponding to X1 equal to 1.4. Correspondingly, we have computed F1 like 7.007. So now in the formula, the corrected formula, in the corrected formula, all these things are same. Up to from here to here, there is no change at all. Exactly the same, even including this 9 as it is. The only difference is this particular F1 value is 7.007. So this 7.007 is the only new thing in the in this particular expression, and we have to evaluate this entire right hand side expression, and we will come to know that the value of y1c in this case, that is the second corrected value, is 2.575. Again, this is the second improved value or the second iteration. That is very, very important. I hope you come to know this, and you can now say that we observe that the two consecutive values of y1c are same up to 3 places of decimal. So you can observe with the previous value of y1c. This is the second iterated value of y1c, that is 2.575, and here we are having 2.575. Up to 3 places of decimal, the two values are correct, and hence we can say that the required value is, we can terminate the iteration process, and we can say that the required value is 2.572. This is the value of y at the point 1.4. That is nothing but this is the value of y1. Y1 is nothing but y at x1. That is y at 1.4 is required to compute, and we have computed it as 2.5752. So this is how we have used the so-called predictor corrector formula. So if we take the summary, we can say that in the predictor case, we have first computed the initial approximation to the value, that is y1p we have computed, and successively we moved on to improve the values. That is we have corrected the values using the corrector formula, and thereby we ultimately got the corrected values of the y1, and when two corrected values of y1 are same up to the desired decimal places, we are advised to stop the process, and then after stopping we got the required result. So I hope you have enjoyed solution of this initial value problem using the Adams-Bashforth predictor corrector method. There are several examples on this. You please look at the further examples by referring the textbook UG Mathematics 6. So with this, let me stop. Thank you for watching this video.